Welcome back to Gaming News and Breakdowns, and in today's video, we are going to be going over basically a general overview of Pokemon Legends ZA, and I wanted to give a review on the game and my experience with it so far. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, I myself have played all throughout the main campaign, and I am somewhat in the middle of the post game. If you've been playing the post game or if you've beaten the post game, you pretty much know what I mean. Um, and yeah, I wanted to see this up front. I will be dividing this video um, into two sections. One with no spoilers at the beginning, and then once I start talking about spoilers and have spoilers in the background gameplay, I will let you guys know so that way you guys don't get anything spoiled for you. Now, the first thing I wanted to talk about is Pokemon Legends ZA has officially become the fifth best-selling Pokemon game at launch. So, within the first week, it has sold 5.8 million copies, and this makes it the fifth best-selling Pokemon game at launch. At fourth place is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl with 6 million in 3 days. In third place comes Pokemon Sword and Shield with 6 million in 3 days as well. In second place is Pokemon Legends Arceus, which sold 6.5 million copies in 3 days. And finally, the best selling game is Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which sold 10 million copies in 3 days after launch. And funny enough, all of the top 5 best selling Pokemon games are, in fact, on the Switch. So you could say that they have all been getting more and more popular while on the Switch. Basically, what I wanted to come on here and say is basically my experience with the game, what the community has been saying about the game, and just my thoughts and opinions on it. Um, I've seen a bunch of positive things said online. People seem to be really enjoying the new combat system. I myself am in that group. Um, People seem to be liking the new megas. I know there are a few which are not exactly, you know, likable. Um, but I think overall, um, the game is being well received, and I don't see too many complaints that really, I don't want to say, I don't see too many complaints with the gameplay itself. Um, I think the main complaint I see is unfortunately the graphics. And at first, I didn't really understand this. I thought that the game looked great when I saw the trailers and everything, like all the promotional stuff. I thought the game looked really good, and I didn't really understand what people were saying when they didn't like how the game looked. Um, and I didn't realize until after the game came out that really people were talking about the little things. For example, a big topic, almost it's almost a meme at this point, is the windows. A lot of the walls, in fact, I think all the walls are pretty much flat, and the windows are just pictures on the wall. There's no texturing to them, and I've seen a lot. This is probably the single most popular complaint from the game and from fans of the game. And um, you know, I hear these complaints, and while I do understand, it is the principle of, we're paying $70 for a polished game, they should have, textured windows, and it shouldn't have indie game level, I guess, development. I don't really think it does have indie game level development. Like what Game Freak did was create an entirely new battle system. You know, in the past, we've only had turn-based game modes, even in Legends Arceus, which is some people's favorite Pokemon game in the world. Um, when you have a game like Legends Arceus, which has different biomes and has a ton of different things to explore, um, and then when you get into a battle, it turns into that turn-based format. It does feel off. Um, I just put out a video on well, actually, I won't get into it now because it's a spoiler. But actually, I just put out a video on a Easter egg, I guess, if you will, um, in the game, talking about something that has to do with Legends Arceus. And if you're interested in that video, I will have it in the top right corner right now. Go ahead and check it out after this one. But um, I was doing a video on this Easter egg, and I needed footage from Legends ZA, or sorry, Legends Arceus. So I went back and I played the post game of Legends Arceus, and it felt very different. I had only been playing Legends ZA for a few days at that point, and you know, it just felt so much better to come right back to ZA after getting that footage and playing ZA. Like it, the action feels fluid. Are there some weird things that happen every now and then? Yeah, of course. I mean, it's a video game. Nothing's going to work perfectly. But I think Legend ZA is just such a nice, like, palate cleanser almost of, you know, we've had the same formula for years in Pokemon games of turn base, whoever speed goes first, or whoever has the most speed goes first, try to take out your opponents before they take you out essentially. And this game really changed how Pokemon is played. Um, I think I've never seen so many people use Protect in a playthrough. Protect is a move no one uses in the story mode. I've never touched Protect when I played Legends, sorry, not Legends. When I played, you know, uh, when I played Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet, that just wasn't something you did. When you play competitive, yes, Protect is the most valuable move, but in the story, like as long as you can outspeed and you're not like just bad at the game, you don't really need Protect. You can give up that slot for a damage move or a move that messes with stats. Um, but the way that this game has shaken up the gameplay of Pokemon, Protect has become an essential part of Legend ZA. And in fact, I see some people say like you need Protect in some parts of the game. Like the game is just too hard without it. Personally, I didn't play with Protect for most of the story, but um, once I learned, how it was used, it definitely made things a whole lot easier. So that is one thing that I think they did very well. I think that them adding the new battle system, I think it's a lot of fun. I think it shakes up the game, and yeah, the windows are a little disappointing, but this isn't a game about windows. This is a game about battling Pokemon. So I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it. Um, with the story, this is still non-spoilery. So if you have not played the story, this is going to be spoiler friendly. Um, or I guess, sorry, let me clarify. There's not going to be spoilers in this part. The story was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I was entertained. Was it the best story I've played? No. I think Scarlet and Violet's story was way better. Um, I think the characters were very entertaining, and you know, I think the characters were very entertaining, and I think that I really liked a lot of the interactions between characters. I liked some characters. Um, I got to be careful here. I don't want to spoil anything. Some characters are there are some shocking twists with some characters. When you get to the post game, there is a mystery that has been uh, teased throughout the main story, and after you complete the post game, you finally get an answer, or at least somewhat of an answer. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think, is it the best story of a Pokemon game? Absolutely not. And I think anyone will say that. I don't think anyone will say this is their absolute favorite. However, it is up there. Um, I think it was a pretty good story. I think the characters definitely um, were likable, and some more than others. But yeah, I really enjoyed the story. I don't really have anything negative to say about it other than it's not the best, but it's also way better than some of the other ones. So okay, so I was about to move on to the spoiler section. However, I realized I did not cover a crucial part of the game, and that is the shiny hunting. So really quick, because I'm sure you've seen it all over. If you've been looking up this game, this is probably the number one thing that you've seen. Shiny hunting is so easy in this game. I have over like 10 shinies, and I haven't even really tried hunting too hard. Um, you can AFK farm, which is the best method as of right now, and yeah, it's completely broken. So if you have lots of shiny Pokemon that you want to get, but you have not gotten yet, you're going to want to farm it in this. To the point where it's so easy, I have almost considered doing a shiny dex. So, and I haven't even completed a Pokédex in one of the games before in my life. So, uh, that is all I wanted to say on shiny hunting. It is very easy, definitely the best in any Pokemon game we've had so far. We are going to move on to some Mega Evolutions. So this is the part where we are going to get into spoiler territory. So if you would like to stay, um, you're more than welcome to. I would love to have you stay, but if you do not want any spoilers, I understand. And yeah, I hope to see you in another video very soon. All right, we're going to start talking about spoilers now. So, um, starting to talk about megas, I think we should talk about the rogue mega evolutions. I think those were a great way to push the story along. However, I felt like there were a little too many. Um, with Legends Arceus, there was 5 nobles, and then an Arceus fight, and either a Palkia or a Dialga fight, um, and also Volo. But we're not going to talk about Volo. Um, but this battle or this game had a lot of boss Pokemon, shall you say, which it was a good thing and also a tiring thing. Um, Part of the reason why I say I think that the story isn't the best is because it was very predictable. Once you fought Vinny and um, you beat him and you jumped the ranks all the way to rank F, I think it was, um, or rank G or something like that. The story was pretty straightforward once you got there. It was, um, here are some rogue megas, defeat all 3 of them, get your challenger ticket when it turns nighttime, go see this person, complete a challenge. Once you complete the challenge, your promotion match will be against whoever you were helping, and then you fight your promotion match. You meet up back at Hotel Z. You eat your curry, your croissant curry, and then the next day happens and your alarm goes off, and then you do it all again. You know, um, it did feel very repetitive, especially with the three mega evolutions every single rank. Um, However, I do think it was a great way to introduce some of the new megas as well as remind us of some of the old ones. I also think that it was a good way to distribute the mega stones. I like that you don't have to buy all of them. Um, However, I it does suck if you were waiting for a specific mega evolution and then it just happens to be at the end of the story. For example, um, all of my Venusaur fans and Bulbasaur fans know exactly what I'm about to say. If you are unaware, and if you did not pick Venusaur or Bulbasaur as your Kanto starter from Mabel, um, you cannot acquire Venusaurite until I believe it's level 29, or not level, mission number 29, which is pretty close to the end of this main story. It's about a third of the way. Not a third, sorry. It's about two-thirds of the way, if not three-fourths of the way done with the main story. Which sucks because um, you can't get Mega Venusaur until the end, basically the end of the game. You can use it in the end of the game, but it's locked behind hours of gameplay, which really just sucks because if you have Mega Venusaur and you use it on your team, you can't Mega Evolve it for the other um, Rogue Megas. You can only use plus moves if you're going to use Venusaur. So that sucks. Um, I don't understand why they chose Venusaur. They could have chosen like another random Pokemon, you know? Like it was just so weird to me that they picked Venusaur. I guess they didn't think a lot of people would pick it, but I don't know. It's just that sucks. Um, I was gonna pick Venusaur anyway because um, I I knew that I was gonna pick Tepig as my starter, and I had never played X and Y, so I wanted to use Froakie as my water Pokemon. So um, the only other option was Grass. I wasn't gonna um, double pick. So and plus, I love Venusaur. Venusaur gets thrown to the curb all the time, and I think that that sucks. So I love Venusaur. Um, Enough to say that Bulbasaur might be my favorite Kanto starter, um, but that's still debatable. Um, anyway, I do think that it is unfortunate that some of the Mega Evolutions are basically kept until the end of the game. For example, Ampharos. I got the shiny Mareep, and I used shiny Mareep throughout most of my gameplay, or most of my playthrough. And it took a while before I was able to use Mareep. It took a while before I was able to use Ampharos, but once I did, you know, I it was perfect. Um, there was a little bit of wait time, but then once I got Mega Ampharos, I could use it, and I used it for the rest of the story. Um, However, it wasn't like that with a lot of megas. You know, like Frostlass is closer to the end, um, and Frostlass is a new one. Frostlass is one of my favorites, but I don't think you get her until right before rank A. So you know, there's just a lot of things, or I guess megas that were blocked and um, time gated, I guess is the word. I'm a Destiny player, so I know all about time gating. Um, But I guess that's also why I kind of ignore the hate so well because I'm used to it. Um, but really don't like time gating or holding stuff off till the end. I think that if something's in the game, I understand like if something's a part of a quest, like um, like for example, the um, the legendaries, like those should not be before the main game's over. Like that should obviously be at the end of the game. But, you know, let's say I want to use Mega Venusaur throughout my whole playthrough. I can't until right before the very end. So I think that was a bit unfortunate. The new Megas I think are fantastic, with some outliers such as Starmie. Um, I think Starmie is not great. But other than that, I really like all of them. Skarmory, I've never really been a fan of Skarmory, but Skarmory I think looks awesome. Um, you know, sh what's the guy with the many little guys? Phalanx. Phalanx. I love Phalanx's Mega. I think that's awesome. I've never used a Phalanx, but that Mega evolution is very cool for Phalanx. Um, I'm trying to think of what other Pokemon got Megas. Excadrill, fantastic Mega. Dragalge, fantastic Mega. Oh, Frostlass. I think Frostlass is my favorite. Um, that one is just so cool. Um, out of the starters, I think Meganium is my favorite. I do also really like Tepig. I would love Totodile. In fact, I almost considered switching. I was dead set on Tepig for like the entirety of like the hype season for Pokemon Legends ZA. All the way since they announced the starters, I was Team Tepig. And I saw the leaks for Mega Feraligatr, and when I saw the jaw closed and how it looked like a mini Totodile, I almost considered switching to Totodile, which was big because I had never played with Froakie and a Greninja. I'd never used them, but I was willing to give that up so that I could get the Mega Feraligatr. And then I learned that the head doesn't stay closed, and I was devastated. And I was like, I'm not picking that anymore. That is not, I think that's the worst of the three. Um, not to say it's bad. I just think that, if the head stayed closed, um, at least more than it does, it only stays like I understand the concept, but it looks ridiculous 95% of the time. And the only time that it doesn't look ridiculous is like for 2 seconds during an attack when there's already a lot going on anyway, so you can barely see it. Um, Not that I'm hating on it. I think it looks awesome until it unclamps its jaw and it just looks like normal for alligator with like a brick on its back. But um, nevertheless, I think all of the or nevertheless, I think all of the starters megas are pretty cool, and I think they suit them. Um, I do wish for alligator was a little better though, but regardless, they are all very cool. All right, so this is the last part of the video I'm going to be talking about, um, and that is the end of the game. Um, I think that the ending of the game was very good. Um, I was not expecting Lysander to show up at all. As mentioned many times before, I have not played X and Y, um, but I know all about Lysander. I know what he did. I understand the events that happened 5 years in the past of the game, but I just wasn't expecting him to show up. So him showing up was very cool because it was my first time interacting with him in game, and yeah, I thought it was very cool. Um, I did not understand exactly why um, Ange was in Lumio's tower, or I also didn't really understand what Ange was. um, from what it looked like, Ange was just Floette. But if Ange was Floette, then why did we bring Floette to the tower in the first place? You know? And I know that's very oversimplifying it. I understand that it was the weapon inside of the tower. But then that also brings me to the question, the tower is a gym, and that's where um I'm forgetting the gym leader's name, but that's where the gym leader lives. So what is happening now with the gym? You know what I mean? Um, Clement, that's his name. Bonnie and Clement. Where are they? What's going on with them? Um, so there were some unanswered things with that, but regardless, I thought it was cool. Um, I like how they explained the rogue megas and the mega evolving Pokemon at the end of the game. I thought that the way that they explained Mega Floette was very good, rather than just saying, "Oh, she can Mega Evolve for no reason." You know, explaining that she can't evolve and giving a reason as to why she can actually Mega Evolve was brilliant. Um, because it would have broken a lot of rules if Floette could just evolve. That means that, like, well, Pikachu can just evolve, or Eevee can just evolve. All the mascots can just evolve for no reason now, even though they're second stages, you know. Um, but or not evolve, sorry, Mega Evolve for all of this. But um, her not being able to evolve due to her black flower, I think that was good to like say in game and explain it, as well as I think it was a really good touch how they um, they said in game, I think it was Lysander that said it. They said that Zygarde cannot Mega Evolve, and then they tricked you by having you have carried the Megastone the entire time. Which, by the way, I don't know who that was fooling. I knew that it was the Megastone as soon as Zygarde gave me the Pebble. I was like, I wonder what this is, like literally in the text it says it has no significance, and I was like, yeah, okay, right. Um, sure, it's just a perfectly round rock. Like, sure, I'm sure that's exactly what it is. Nothing else, no hidden meaning or hidden secrets inside it. But regardless, I think it was cool. I think that the design of Mega Zygarde and Mega Floette are cool. I saw some people like not liking the design of Mega Floette because they're saying that the flower Mega evolves, but the Floette doesn't, which that actually kind of makes more sense, right? Because Floette normally doesn't evolve. The only reason why it Mega evolves is due to the flower. So, and also the flower looks like a miniature ultimate weapon. So, I think that that was a cool design choice, as well as Mega Zygarde. I just love Mega Zygarde. I think he looks cool. I love that he has a giant cannon that he can like move. Um, I don't have anything bad to say about him. I think Mega Zygarde's cool. Um, but that's just me. Um, regardless, um, those are my takes. Um, I I hope you all are enjoying the game. I apologize for not posting the rest of my playthrough. I mentioned in another video that I posted recently that I hadn't been having fun posting those videos because it was just me posting raw gameplay, and I didn't really know what else to do with it. So I just kind of stopped because I wanted to work on other videos and other projects. And also, I am a student, so I was in the middle of school doing stuff. Um, and also, I had COVID the past week, so it's been crazy here. um, but um, all that being said, I do look forward to pushing out more videos too. And while this may be the last Legends ZA video I post for a while, Legends ZA will still be a main um, rotator in background gameplay. I'm playing this game like nonstop uh, when I'm not recording or not at school. Um, I'm trying to complete the Pokedex. I'm trying to get shinies. I'm trying to catch Zygarde and beat the post campaign. I haven't done either of those yet. So I just got the legendaries last night. So I'm trying to do all that. I will be playing this game, and also, um, you know, posting and making videos on Pokemon was a lot of fun, and it was more fun than I realized it would be, and I actually enjoyed making some of the guides that I did. So, you know, Pokemon Legends, or not Legends, sorry, Pokemon Champions is just right around the corner, as well as the DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA. So, when those come out, I will definitely be making more videos on that. But um, I have more videos that I want to make, and they're all on other topics. So I am moving on from making Pokemon ZA videos, but as mentioned before, you'll still see gameplay in the background of other videos. So, but yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Um, if you haven't seen some of my other videos, I highly recommend you going and checking them out. I'll leave some linked at the end of the video in the end card, and there are some linked in cards throughout the video, so in the top right corner. So go ahead and check all of those out. And yeah, I hope to see you in another video. I have more videos coming out very soon, so look out for those. And yeah, I'll see you in another video. Hope you guys have a great day.